Hey guys, welcome back. I do hope that you've watched the past video I uploaded, and assuming you have, I'm going to get on with the video, instead of boring you to death like the last one. Also, unlike what will usually happen, today I'm going to be giving you new phone releases since the start of the month instead of just a week. Beginning with two new Samsung phones, the A51 5G and A71 5G. They're practically the same as the A51 and A71 launched earlier this year, except with 5G, a different chipset, and some other differences like RAM and battery capacity. They both have a front camera cutout in the same position as the Samsung Note 10. The A51 has a 48 megapixel quad camera setup, while the A71 has a 64 megapixel quad camera setup. They both come with 120 gigabytes of storage and 6 up to 8 gigabytes of RAM. They are not available to pre-order as of yet, but it is expected to be at the end of the month. They're both announced on the 9th. We have two new releases from Oppo. The first, the Oppo Ace 2, released on the 13th, has three cameras, a 48 megapixel one, an 8 megapixel one, and a 2 megapixel one. It's Oppo's first phone with wireless charging, and it's a super good one too, at 40 watts. It can have from 8 GB to 12 gigabytes of RAM and 128 to 256 gigabytes of storage. And all of this comes to about $779 for the lowest spec and $900 for the highest spec. The second one is the Oppo A9 2S. It has a 48 megapixel quad camera and a 16 megapixel selfie camera. It has a 3890 mAh battery, has 18 watt fast charging, but no wireless charging though. It has 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is all available to pre-order now at €290. Next up we have the Xiaomi Redmi 8A Pro. Now this one was released on the 2nd. It comes with 13 megapixel dual camera and an 8 megapixel selfie camera. It has a 5000 mAh battery. It has 32 gigabytes of storage and 2 to 3 gigabytes of RAM, and this comes to about €90. Next up we have three new phones from Huawei, and they are the Nova SE, Nova 7 Pro and Nova 7. Let's start off with the Nova SE. It has a 64 megapixel quad camera setup. It has a 16 megapixel selfie camera. It features a 4000 mAh battery and 40 watt fast charging. It's available with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 to 256 gigabytes of storage. This one was released on the 24th and can be pre-ordered for about €320. Next we have the Nova 7 5G. It also has a 64 megapixel quad camera setup. It has a 32 megapixel selfie camera. It also houses a 4000 mAh battery paired with 40 watt fast charging. It is available with 128 to 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has an under-screen fingerprint sensor and it costs about €390. Next we have the Nova 7 Pro. It has a 64 megapixel quad camera again, and it has a 32 megapixel dual selfie camera. It has a 40 watt fast charger for its 4000 mAh battery. It comes with 128 to 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. It also features an under-screen fingerprint sensor, and this phone costs about €480. Okay, next we have the very, very recent Motorola Edge and Motorola Edge Plus. They were both released on the 22nd. The Edge has a 90Hz display, 128 gigabytes of storage and up to 6 gigabytes of RAM, a 64 megapixel quad camera setup, a 25 megapixel selfie camera, a 4500 mAh battery with 18 watt charging, has an under-screen fingerprint sensor and comes with a price tag of €600. Meanwhile, the Edge Plus also has a 90Hz display with HDR10 Plus, has 256 gigabytes of storage and has 12 gigabytes of RAM. It has a 108 megapixel quad camera setup, a 25 megapixel selfie camera, a 5000 mAh battery with 18-watt fast charging and 15-watt wireless charging and 5-watt reverse wireless charging. It has an under-screen fingerprint sensor and has a price tag of €1,200. Next up, we have Apple's iPhone SE. Launched on the 15th, this one has a 12 megapixel rear camera and a 7 megapixel selfie camera. It has a 1821 mAh battery and 18 watts fast charging. Its storage ranges from 64 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes and has a 3 gigabytes of RAM. This one is very important for Apple as this phone goes back to Apple's earlier design. In fact, it uses the exact same body as the iPhone 8. It is also important for another reason, its price. It is priced at €480, which is the cheapest new phone with an Apple logo on it. So a quick message at the end of this video, by the way. It's that I didn't expect this video to end up being so short. So I did cut out a phone. It is the OnePlus 8. It was a very important release. And because of that, it will definitely be in the next video. So I just wanted to say that at the end. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.